In the quiet, well-manicured suburbs of Crestwood Hills, Mark and Clara Thompson were the picture-perfect couple. He, a successful architect, she, a celebrated interior designer. Their life seemed flawless, a testament to love and shared ambition. But behind the closed doors of their designer home, a different story was unfolding, one of secrets, betrayal, and simmering resentment. Our story begins not with a bang, but with a whisper, a series of anonymous text messages that started arriving on Clara's phone. "He's not who you think he is," one read. "Ask him about his late nights at the office," said another. Clara initially dismissed them as a cruel prank. Mark was devoted, wasn't he? He was her partner, her best friend. But the seed of doubt, once planted, began to sprout. She started noticing small things. The scent of a different perfume on his collar. Vague answers about his whereabouts. A sudden obsession with his phone's privacy. The man she had built her life with was becoming a stranger. The final straw came one evening when Mark claimed he was attending a late-night conference call. A quick check with his office revealed there was no such call. The lie was laid bare, cold, and undeniable. Driven by a mix of heartbreak and a desperate need for the truth, Clara hired a private investigator, a former detective named Frank Miller. Frank was discreet, thorough, and had a knack for uncovering what people wanted to keep hidden. It didn't take him long to confirm Clara's worst fears. Mark was having an affair. The other woman was a young, ambitious junior architect at his firm named Isabel Reed. Frank's report was a dagger to Clara's heart. It included photos of Mark and Isabel sharing intimate dinners, holding hands in a park, and entering a small, nondescript apartment downtown. Their secret love nest. The deception was deeper and more calculated than Clara could have ever imagined. The life she cherished was a facade, built on a foundation of lies. One rainy Tuesday afternoon, the story took a dark and irreversible turn. The Crestwood Hills Police Department received a frantic 911 call. It was Mark Thompson. He was hysterical, barely coherent. He had come home to find Clara, his wife, lying lifeless at the bottom of their grand staircase. Paramedics rushed to the scene, but it was too late. Clara Thompson was dead. At first glance, it looked like a tragic accident. A slip, a fall. The staircase was steep, the marble, unforgiving. Mark, playing the part of the grieving husband, told detectives she must have lost her footing. He was at the office all day, he claimed, and came home to this horrifying discovery. The community mourned the loss of a beloved resident, another victim of a simple, tragic mishap. But Detective Miles Corbin, the lead investigator on the case, had a gut feeling that something was off. Corbin was a veteran, a man who had seen too much to believe in simple stories. He noticed the scene was almost too perfect. There were no scuff marks on the walls, no signs of a struggle to regain balance. And then there was Mark's demeanor, a performance of grief that didn't quite reach his eyes. Corbin's investigation began with Clara. He spoke to her friends, who painted a picture of a woman who had recently become withdrawn and anxious. They mentioned her suspicions about Mark's infidelity. This was the first thread. He then looked into Clara's recent activities and discovered the payments to Frank Miller, the private investigator. When Corbin interviewed Frank, the whole story of the affair came tumbling out. Frank provided the damning report, complete with photos and details of the love nest. Suddenly, Mark Thompson wasn't just a grieving husband. He was a liar and a cheat, with a powerful motive. A messy, expensive divorce could have ruined him, both financially and professionally. Corbin brought Mark in for questioning again. This time, he wasn't gentle. He presented Mark with the evidence of his affair with Isabel Reed. Mark's composure cracked. He admitted to the affair, but swore he had nothing to do with Clara's death. He claimed he was breaking things off with Isabel, that he wanted to save his marriage. He insisted Clara's death was a terrible, tragic coincidence. The detectives then turned their attention to Isabel Reed. She was young, beautiful, and seemed genuinely distraught by the news. She corroborated Mark's story, tearfully admitting to the affair, but insisting it was over. She had an alibi for the time of Clara's death. She was at a yoga class across town with a dozen witnesses. Her story seemed solid. The investigation hit a wall. Was it possible Mark was telling the truth? Could it really have been an accident after all? Just when the case was about to go cold, a rookie forensic technician made a breakthrough. While re-examining the evidence from the scene, she found something minute, something everyone else had missed. Embedded in the fibers of the plush runner on the staircase was a tiny, uniquely shaped, metallic blue sequin. It didn't match any of Clara's clothes. It was an anomaly, a tiny speck of evidence that didn't belong. Detective Corbin felt a jolt of electricity. He had seen a sequin like that before. He pulled up the surveillance photos from Frank Miller's report, and there it was. In one of the photos of Isabel Reed leaving her yoga class on the day of the murder, she was carrying a gym bag. Dangling from the zipper was a small, decorative keychain, adorned with dozens of tiny, metallic blue sequins, identical to the one found at the crime scene. Isabel's alibi had been her shield. But what if she wasn't at the yoga studio for the entire duration? Corbin re-interviewed the yoga instructor, pressing for specifics. The instructor eventually recalled that Isabel had left the class early, about halfway through, complaining of a headache. She had been gone for a full 45 minutes, more than enough time to drive to the Thompson residence, confront Clara, and return to the studio before anyone noticed she was gone for long. Armed with this new timeline and the sequin evidence, Corbin brought Isabel Reed back in. Her confident facade crumbled. The detectives laid it all out. The lie about the yoga class, the keychain, the motive. Isabel wasn't just a heartbroken mistress. She was a woman scorned. Mark had tried to end the affair, but she wasn't ready to let him go. She had gone to the house that day to confront Clara, to convince her to let Mark go. The confrontation had escalated. An argument erupted at the top of the grand staircase. In a fit of rage, Isabel pushed Clara. It wasn't a premeditated act, but a spontaneous burst of violence. The single, forceful shove was enough. Clara tumbled backward, her head striking the marble floor with lethal force. In the chaos, the tiny sequin from Isabel's keychain broke free, a silent witness to the crime. Isabel confessed to everything, her sobs echoing through the interrogation room. She had gone there to fight for her love, and in a moment of uncontrollable anger she had become a killer. Mark, for his part, was innocent of murder, but his web of deceit had created the circumstances that led to his wife's death. He lost everything, his wife, his career, and his freedom, as he was later charged with obstruction of justice for his initial lies to the police. The secret affair, born in whispers and hidden in the shadows, had ended not with a quiet goodbye, but with a deadly fall and a life sentence. It's a chilling reminder that the most beautiful facades can hide the darkest truths, and that the consequences of our secrets can be more devastating than we could ever imagine. Thank you for watching this deep dive into the case of the Thompson tragedy. What do you think? Was Mark just as guilty as Isabel? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoy true crime stories, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more. We'll see you in the next one.